very happy. So you ask some sects, why are you clean shaven? Oh, in our religion we are supposed to have a clean shave head. Eh? What is this? Or something like that. Stupid. Like you must have beard, or you must have mustaches. Some sort of a clannishness. Not understanding that reality is full of varieties. There has to be variety. That is how it is aesthetics and Saundarya. If you do not have variety, how can you be a personality? How can be a person who is bound by these nonsensical outside ideas be a person who has a personality? If religion cannot give you a personality, it's better to do away with such a thing. It gives you an inner personality and also an outer personality. And this personality, when you start enjoying, then only one would say you are a Sahajogi, where you are not told not to steal, not to hit someone, not to be aggressive with anyone, not to be egoistical. Never said like that. But a personality that watches oneself. But normally people watch others, not themselves. This is also another problem of the West, that you watch others, never watch yourself. But all this goes on and on and on till we really become slaves of our own ideas about a personality, and we start projecting that personality through our ego and try to show that we are something very special. Just the opposite is Sahaja Yoga. Try to understand this very clearly. You are all a personality. You are all persons. You are all saints and are to be respected as saints. We need not have the same type of personality. Everybody must have to, it has to be different types of styles of talking, styles of delivering things, styles of expression of divine love. So we do not form a kind of a regimental people because we are free. We are absolutely free because we have the light. We know how far we have to go, what is the right way, which way to go. Immediately you know what is correct. If that light is there, nicely burning within yourself, you don't have to ask me, ask anyone. When such people come up, understanding that Sahaja Yoga is complete freedom. But this complete freedom is there because you have the light. Without the light, the freedom is nonsense. It has no meaning. You hurt everyone, you trouble everyone, torture everyone. But with the light, firstly, great thing happened to us. That the religions which are preached by these great prophets and incarnations just become part and parcel of ourselves. Here it is, the Japanese will say we are Buddhist and kill as many as people as they like. or the Christians, as I said, are just the opposite of what they are. So then you really become a real Christian and a real Muslim and a real Hindu. And then you realize all religions are really like a part of the ocean, and you no more identify yourself with any particular one, but you just jump in the ocean of religion. And you are, in a way, the real religious personality. I don't have to tell you about your morality. You just see, watch how you have dropped out. So many of these wrong things which you are doing. So many used to write to me also, but I never read them. So I used to just burn off everything. I don't want to know about it. You are a free person. In that freedom, you see that you have imbibed all these religions. Before realization, no one can be religious. They can profess, they can have a brand, they may say something, but it's all outside. Not only that, but they are just the opposite of the religion they are professing. Just the opposite. And they deviate. Not only that, pollute the basis of religion. And the basis of religion is the assent. If the religion cannot give you the balance to assent, it's better to have no religion. Atheists are better like Russians, who have no religion, who are only worried about their assent. That's why maybe that Christ and Mahavira didn't want to talk about God. So then, we have people who have the light, and they worry about their own light, and they want that this light should be there all the time burning. And this light not only should enlighten them, but enlighten others, and they work for it. They take up responsibility in a way. They do not sit in a jungle meditating. No, you have to work. You have to work in this world. You have to work it out. Sahaja for others. You have to give them this beautiful feeling of oneness with the divine. You have to enjoy all that. Sahaja is not only for your enjoyment, like some drunkard sitting and drinking together. It is to fill up your cups to be given to others, to many others who are there. So they take up this responsibility. And the basis is the truth that they know about. They do not think that they are like a liability of Sahaja. They do not come to me for small things. How can I grow the hair of my father's baldness? Sort of nonsensical question. They even write to me such nonsensical things. I'm amazed. What do they think Sahaja is meant to be, a beauty parlor or what? Their vision is very different. The vision is of that great universe, the great universe that has to be enlightened. We are part and parcel of that. And this universal religion is to be brought into the lives of people through realization, through awakening of Kundalini. They work very hard, they spare no efforts to see that people receive realization. But here also, a little of this ego subtly is there. That I am doing this, I am doing that. So many people ask me, Mother, you travel so much, you do so much. How is it that you manage at this age so far? First of all, I don't know what is my age is. I don't care. And secondly, I don't do anything. If I'm not doing anything, how can I be tired? I'm not doing anything whatsoever. It's all working out. I just watch and see and enjoy. So they also think we are doing this work, we are doing that work, and become very conscious of it. Then again, this Mr. Ego, which is subtly still there flickering, again becomes a big one. It's an antichrist activity, absolutely. So the construction of the mind starts, you see. This one is not working, that one is this is, they start criticizing others. Still watching others, not themselves. Then there are Sahajogis who do not feel that way. They realize that Param Chaitanya is working everything and working through them. They are the instrument. And sometimes, of course, if it fails, they start doubting. Then how is it, Mother, this thing has happened like this? If it is so, then how is it Gorbachev had to leave? I have to explain why Gorbachev had to leave politics. Imagine. That's my responsibility. Of course, we can ask God any questions. That's human beings think they have a right to ask any question to God, to curse Him, to say whatever they feel like to God as if He is a person who has taken your liability. So this still lingers on a little bit when even they are quite surrendered about it. Still, there are certain doubts in the minds. But then there are people who do not doubt anything. They understand there is Param Chaitanya which is helping. They know that behind all these miracles there is Param Chaitanya. Above all of them, other ones start realizing that we have got powers. Definitely. And that we are connected with the divine. We have powers. Of course, sometimes they also doubt if we really have powers. I have known some people, they said, I said, why don't you help me? Because I'm afraid my ego will come up. Why don't you do this? Because my ego will come up. They're frightened of their ego, so this ego follows very subtly. And better not, just not too much, you see. It's too much. Let us move little slowly. Not to sort of believe that I have powers. But there are people who know they have been blessed with powers. And these powers can be discovered more and more within yourself. They have faith in themselves, they have faith in Sahaja Yoga, and they have complete faith in me and in this Param Chaitanya. And they work out. Very simple people, extremely simple people they are, very simple-hearted, innocent people. I have seen in the villages, I have seen many, also here there are many cities of that kind. So this is the 12 types of Sahaja-yogis I have described. But there's one. That is the one which is fully empowered also. They discover their own powers. In that introspection, they see. And they are sure about it, no doubts. That is the state of Nirvikalpa. They have no doubt about themselves. To have faith in me made you also something great. And that you have to develop your powers also. Don't only depend on the powers that I have. Just do not try to extract powers which are from your mother, but try to rise onto the same levels. You can. I wouldn't say how many will, but try. And for that, first and foremost thing, first and most important thing is complete humility. Of course, you are surrendered to me, so you are humble. Muhammad Sahib talked of surrender. I said, surrender yourself to yourself. If yourself is the spirit, why not surrender yourself to yourself? But make that self shine. Just become one with that light. Whole life should be a light. Light of love, light of divinity, light of beauty. So you have to work out through introspection. You have got all these powers within yourself. So many powers you have. Of course, depending on mother is nice thing. But now you grow, you have to grow. You have to grow and take up the responsibility without feeling responsible. The personality should be such. I hope we have to go ahead of all the other disciples. Unless and until we do that. Can we? Possibly, I don't know. We might drown Sahaja Yoga into another ocean of nonsense. So we have to also develop our personalities through our introspection, through our understandings, through our proofs of reality. I am sorry today I have to tell about these things. I had no other chance to talk to you about it except for today, that how the disciples of Christ were deceived by this Peter and Paul company. And I sometimes think of human beings, how they are and how clever and cunning they are, and how they can try to bring down Sahaja Yoga, which is so important today. Today is the day of our resurrection. We have to pass through these 12 stages to reach the higher state. And they call it the 14th stage is the highest, where you are just an instrument, absolutely insensitive about what you are, playing into the hands of Param Chaitanya. It's a very good auspicious day today. This is what Christ has done. He accepted his crucifixion because he had to play that role. And it was a terrible thing. But when he was carrying the cross, they were worried about him. Then he said, "Don't worry about me. You better worry about yourself." Despite all this mutilation in the Bible, lots of truths have been there still. So we are not to hate anyone because they have crucified Christ. That's what they say. But hate that kind of an authority. If it comes to us, we should not try to crucify us. But the subtle ego that works starts in a very funny manner, and in the collectivity it starts showing up. Try to reduce it, try to reduce it. And you'll be amazed. As soon as this I-ness is finished, all the powers will start coming up. It's like a flute which has got hollowness within it. If there's any obstruction, it cannot play. So all these ideas we have, all these conditionings we had, the worst of all, this so-called ego, that I am doing that, should go away. Because you can never enjoy if you think that way. You cannot enjoy your work. And you really cannot jump into the ocean of joy as long as you know that I am doing it. So, also there are certain questions about the school they have been asking, but I've already told that it's a very big task to run a school. And we have found out that the Western children have got a very poor immune system. Very poor. Maybe they are given antibiotics, or they have been given such food, tinned food maybe, or maybe some sort of a protected things. I don't know why. Or maybe they have seen lots of these ghost stories, or maybe they films or something. That their immune system is very, very weak. With the slightest thing, they catch. If something is wrong with another person, they catch it. This is a new discovery we had. Also, I think with the heat, their brains start boiling, because already they are on the ego trips. So we have decided to take them down now from Vashi to Dharamshala. Dharamshala, will be surprised that Yogi has donated 10 acres of land. Also, I have donated some land. Also, a lot of money has been donated by Indians. And we are going to develop a school. You don't worry on that. What sort of a school we are going to have, what we are going to do there. You have to leave things to us. This is one thing. Accordingly, because they were going to have the school in December, it was not decided. It was discovered when the month April started. The children started getting sick. With little dust, they would start coughing. Allergies, all kinds. Then we decided that let them be in a cooler place. So they will be in Dharamshala. And let them be there. Now for all the parents, they have to know one thing. If they want their children to come up properly, they have to leave them to the school to manage. You are not going to interfere with that. Of course, because according to the first plan, there would have been 3 months holidays in the summertime, and they would have been in Dharamshala. But now, as they are taking up the same course, there's no holiday for them, and their school has started. So please don't go to Dharamshala. Immediately, parents are rushing. Please cancel your tickets. Only you can meet your children in Shere, where they'll be there for 3.5 months. You come and stay there during winter time. That's the only time you should meet your children. Apart from health, their education is very poor. So many of them, even at the age of 8 years, don't know how to write properly. Absolutely, they are completely neglected, pampered children. So let the school look after them. They don't want to study. They have no sense of future. They have no sense as to why are they on this earth. So let them handle. Please, some parents might not have gone for some time, maybe. But that doesn't mean as soon as you get money or a provision, you rush there. Try to understand that you shouldn't disturb the discipline of the school and the discipline of the children. Because if there's one parent coming or two parents coming, all the children start feeling bad and their attention is pointed. So the first thing we have to imbibe today, the wisdom of Christ. Wisdom. Wisdom should tell you that leave the children. We are trying our level best to do the best for them. We are not yet asking you for any help so far. We are working it out. So, it's very surprising how these children are very intelligent and they grasp things very well. But they just don't want to sit down anywhere. All the time they want to be out. They don't want to study. So we have to find out ways and methods by which they have self-esteem, that they think they have to do something in life. The parents, first of all, are in the West known to be very negligent about their children. They even kill their children and all that. But in Sahaja Yoga, they just get attached like a glue. From one side they are left, they become glued. The whole family is glued. They can't get over it. And this kind of love is the death of love. So, please, try to understand that these are the children of Sahaja Yoga, and they are looked after. Everything is going to be worked out very well for them. And have the wisdom to enjoy this development of your children. If you have any problems about it, you should trouble the people there. All your attention is on your child. It's a very wrong thing. I think that person is not a surgeon at all. Because you do not think that God is responsible for them. You think you are responsible, then you are not a surgeon at all, by any chance. You love your own children, but you don't love other children. You're not bothered about their problems, their situations. Supposing one father, mother go there, then all the rest of the children are going to feel bad. Then why should you go? Then also sending presents. Some people start sending presents. Tin fruit. Now anybody sends tin fruit, we are going to throw it in the sea. Chocolates. There's no need to send anything like that. If you have to send something, then send something that is good for them, for the whole school. Otherwise, just don't send. Only for your child, please don't send. You are Sahajogis. You are not like other people. You are special people. So if you have to send something, Send for all the children, but not chocolates or not things that will spoil.
జై శ్రీ మాతాజీ. శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారి ప్రవచనాన్ని తెలుగులో చెప్పుకుందాం. పాశ్చాత్య దేశముల్లోని ఇంకో సమస్య ఏమంటే వారు ఇతరులని గమనిస్తారు కానీ తమను తాము గమనించుకోరు. అది అలాగ జరుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది. ఇంతవరకు అంటే ఒక వ్యక్తిత్వం గురించి మన ఆలోచనలకు మనం బానిసలు అయ్యేంత వరకు ఆ పైన ఆ వ్యక్తిత్వాన్ని మన అహంకారం ద్వారా వ్యక్తపరుస్తూ మనం ఒక ప్రత్యేకతను సంతరించుకున్నామని తెలియజెప్పే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాం. సరిగ్గా దీనికి వ్యతిరేకము సహజయోగం. ఈ విషయమును చాలా స్పష్టంగా అర్థం చేసుకునే ప్రయత్నం చేయండి. మనమంతా ఒకే వ్యక్తిత్వము. మీరంతా వ్యక్తులు, మీరంతా పుణ్యపురుషులు. ఆ విధంగా మీరంతా గౌరవింపబడాలి. అయితే మనమంతా ఒకే రకమైన వ్యక్తిత్వమే కలిగి ఉండనక్కర్లేదు. ప్రతి ఒక్కరిది ఒక్కొక్క రకంగా వైవిధ్యం కలిగి ఉండాలి. అంటే మాట్లాడే పద్ధతులు, ఇచ్చే విధానాలు, భగవత్ ప్రేమను వ్యక్తీకరించే మార్గాలు భిన్నంగా ఉండాలి. మనమంతా మిలిటరీ వారిలాగా తయారవకూడదు. కారణం మనం స్వతంత్రులం. మనం పరిపూర్ణ స్వేచ్ఛతో ఉన్నాం. కారణం కాంతిని మనం దర్శించాం. ఎంత దూరం వెళ్ళాలో, ఏది సవ్య మార్గమో, ఏ దారి గుండా ప్రయాణించాలో మనకు తెలుసు. ఏది సరైనదో మీకు వెనువెంటనే తెలుస్తుంది. ఆ కాంతి మీలో చక్కగా ప్రజ్వలమవుతుంటే మీరు కేవలం నన్నే అడగవలసిన అవసరం ఏర్పడదు. మరెవరినైనా అడగవచ్చు. సహజయోగంలో స్వేచ్ఛ ఉందని చాలా మంది అర్థం చేసుకొని వస్తారు. సంపూర్ణ స్వేచ్ఛకు కారణం మీలో కాంతి ఉంది. కాంతి లేని స్వేచ్ఛ అర్థం లేనిది. అప్పుడు మీరు ప్రతి ఒక్కరిని బాధిస్తారు. ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి ఇబ్బందులు సృష్టిస్తారు, హింసిస్తారు. అయితే మనలోని కాంతితో ప్రప్రథమంగా ఒక గొప్ప సంఘటన జరుగుతుంది. గొప్ప ప్రవక్తలు, అవతార పురుషుల చేత ప్రబోధించబడిన సర్వమతాల సారము కేవలం మనలో ఒక అంతర్భాగం అవుతాయి. అయితే జపాన్ వారు తాము బౌద్ధ మతస్థులమని చెప్పుకుంటూ వీలైనంత మందిని చంపుతారు. అలాగే క్రైస్తవమని పిలువబడేవారు అందుకు భిన్నంగా వ్యవహరిస్తారు. కనుక కాంతిని మీరు దర్శిస్తే మీరు క్రైస్తవ మతస్థునిగా లేక వాస్తవ మహమ్మదీయునిగా లేక వాస్తవ హిందువుగా మారుతారు. అప్పుడు అన్ని మతాలు సాగరంలోని అంతర్భాగములే అని మీరు గ్రహిస్తారు. ఏ ఒక్క మతంతోనూ మీరు గుర్తింపు పొందరు. సర్వమత సాగరంలోనికి దూకి ఒకలాగా మీరు వాస్తవ ధార్మిక వ్యక్తిత్వం సంతరించుకుంటారు. ఇక మరికొంతమందిని చూద్దాం. వారిలో కాంతి ఉంది. వారు తమ స్వీయ కాంతిని గురించి తపన పడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఆ కాంతి ఎల్లప్పుడూ ఉండాలని భావిస్తుంటారు. ఆ కాంతి కేవలం తమనే కాకుండా ఇతరులను కూడా ప్రకాశవంతం చేయాలని భావిస్తారు. ఆ దిశగా వారు కార్యక్రమం చేపడతారు. ఏదో ఒక బాధ్యత స్వీకరిస్తారు. అంతేగాని ఏ అడవిలోకి పోయి ఒంటరిగా ధ్యానం చేసుకుంటూ కూర్చోరు. మీరు పని చేయాలి. ఈ ప్రపంచంలో మీరు పని చేయాలి. ఇతరుల కొరకు మీరు సహజయోగ కార్యక్రమంలో పాల్గొనాలి. భగవంతునితో ఏకీకరణ చెందే ఈ అందమైన దివ్యానుభూతిని వారు అనుభవపూర్వకంగా తెలుసుకునే అవకాశం కల్పించాలి. ఆ ఆనందాన్ని మీరు అనుభవించాలి. సహజయోగం అంటే ఎవరో కొంతమంది త్రాగుబోతులు ఒక చోట చేరి మద్యం సేవిస్తూ వ్యక్తిగతంగా ఆనందించడం లాంటిది కాదు. కాబట్టి ఈ విధమైన బాధ్యతను వారు చేపడతారు. అన్నిటికీ సత్యమే మూలం అనే విషయం వారికి తెలుసు. సహజయోగమునకు వారొక భారమని వారు భావించారు. చిన్న చిన్న విషయాలకు వారు నా వద్దకు రారు. మా నాన్న బట్టతల మీద వెంట్రుకలు ఎలాగ మొలిపించాలి ఇలాంటి మూర్ఖ ప్రశ్నలు నన్ను అడగరు. కొంతమంది అటువంటి పిచ్చి ప్రశ్నలు లేఖ ద్వారా నన్ను అడుగుతారు. నాకు ఆశ్చర్యం కలిగించే విషయం ఏమంటే సహజయోగం అనేది వారి దృష్టిలో ఒక అందం పెంపొందించే బ్యూటీ పార్లర్ ఏమో. వారి దృష్టి భిన్నమైనది. గొప్ప ప్రపంచం మీద దృష్టి నిలపాలి. ఆ గొప్ప ప్రపంచం ఆత్మ ప్రకాశం వారంతా అందులోని అంతర్భాగమే. ఆత్మ సాక్షాత్కారము కుండల్ని జాగృతి ద్వారా ఈ విశ్వమతము ప్రజల జీవితాల్లోకి తీసుకురావాలి. వారంతా చాలా కష్టించి పనిచేస్తారు. ప్రజలు ఆత్మ సాక్షాత్కారం పొందడానికి తమ సర్వ శక్తులు ధారపోస్తారు. అయితే ఇక్కడ కొద్దిగా అహంకారం కనబడుతూ ఉంటుంది. నేను అది చేస్తున్నాను, ఈ పనంతా నేనే చేస్తున్నాను అని. చాలా మంది నన్ను ప్రశ్నిస్తారు. మాతాజీ, మీరు ఎక్కువగా ప్రయాణాలు చేస్తుంటారు కదా! అలాగే ఎంతో పని చేస్తుంటారు. ప్రస్తుతం మీ వయసులో ఆ పనులన్నీ చక్కగా మీరు ఎలా నిర్వహించగలుగుతున్నారు అని. ముందుగా నా వయసెంతో నాకు తెలీదు. దాని గురించి పట్టించుకోను. ఇక రెండో విషయం, నేను ఏమీ చేయను. నేను ఏ పని చేయనప్పుడు నాకు అలసట ఎందుకు వస్తుంది? ఇటువంటి పరిస్థితులు ఎదురైనా నేనేమి చేయను. అదంతా దానంతట అది జరుగుతుంది. అది గమనిస్తూ నేను ఆనందిస్తాను. వారు మాత్రం ఈ పని మేము చేస్తున్నాము, ఆ పని మేము చేస్తున్నాము, ఆ పని మా వల్లనే జరిగింది అనే ఆ భావనలో నిమగ్నులై ఉంటారు. తిరిగి సూక్ష్మంగా ఉన్న అహంకారము మిణుకు మిణుకుమంటున్నదల్లా పెద్ద మంటగా మారుతుంది. అది సంపూర్ణంగా క్రీస్తుకు వ్యతిరేకమైంది. అలాగ మెదడులో ఆలోచనలు పుట్టడం మొదలవుతుంది. ఇది పని చేయట్లేదు, ఇది బాగాలేదు, ఇది పాతదే, ఇలాగా ఇతరులపై విమర్శనాస్త్రాలు వేస్తారు. ఇంకా ఇతరులనే గమనిస్తూ ఉంటారు. తమని మాత్రం కాదు. ఇక ఇంకొక రకమైన వ్యక్తులు ఉన్నారు. తమకు శక్తులు ప్రసాదించబడ్డాయని వారికి తెలుసు. అంతర్గతంగా ఈ శక్తులు క్రమక్రమంగా వారిలో ఎక్కువవుతున్నట్లుగా వారికి తెలుస్తుంది. వారిలో వారికి నమ్మకం ఉంది. సహజయోగంపై విశ్వాసం ఉంది. అలాగే సంపూర్ణంగా నాపైన పరమ చైతన్యం మీద నమ్మకం వారికుంది. వారు సాధారణ ప్రజలు. సహజ కార్యక్రమాలను నెరవేరుస్తూ ఉంటారు. అత్యంత నిష్కల్మషులు, అమాయకులు, సాదాసీదా వ్యక్తులు. అటువంటి వారిని నేను గ్రామాల్లో, పల్లెల్లో చూశాను. ఇక్కడ కూడా అటువంటి వ్యక్తులు కూర్చొని ఉండడం గమనిస్తున్నాను. మనం ఇతర సహోద్యోగులతో ముందుకు పోవాలి. ఆ విధంగా మనం చేయకపోతే మన సహోద్యోగంను మరొక పనికిమాలిన సముద్రంలో ముంచవలసి ఉంటుంది. మన వ్యక్తిత్వమును, మన ఆత్మ విమర్శలు, అవగాహనలు, వాస్తవ నిర్ధారణల ద్వారా కూడా అభివృద్ధి పరుచుకోవాలి. ఈ రోజున ఇటువంటి సంగతులు మీతో ప్రస్తావిస్తున్నందుకు నాకు విచారంగా ఉంది. ఈ రోజును తప్పించి మరోసారి చెప్పడానికి నాకు అవకాశం లేదు. ఇక దానిని గురించి మీకు చెప్పనివ్వండి. ఈ రోజున మనం మన పునర్జన్మ గురించి, మనలో ఉన్న ఈ 14 స్థితుల ద్వారా ఒకటి తర్వాత మరొకటి మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాము. తర్వాత వాటిని చీల్చుకొని అందమైన కలువ పువ్వులుగా బయటకు వస్తున్నాము. ఇదే ఈస్టర్ పండుగ. ఈ రోజున గ్రుడ్లను నివేదన చేస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే గ్రుడ్ల నుండి పిల్లలు బయటకు వచ్చి పక్షులుగా ఎదుగుతారు. జై శ్రీ మాతాజీ.
Mm-hmm.